All right, guys. So we thank you everybody for your patience and understanding. There's a lot of people on here on this meeting, and I wanted to set the record straight and have everybody on the same page. So we have 3 levels of agents. The first level is openers. The second level is closers in training. And then the third level is our closers. Now, your role as an opening agent, your goal is to get promoted to closers in training, and then as closers in training to get promoted to closers. As opening agents, we're actually teaching you how to become a closer. We're teaching you to close, whether you realize it or you don't. Because the opening script is actually the same 1/3 of the closing script. Now, it would be real easy for me to stick you guys in a classroom for 2 weeks straight, provide you with all of the closing materials, and then after 2 weeks, say, okay, you guys are ready to start taking calls. If I was to do that, you would all fail miserably. Because you may have the classroom training, but you don't have the practical knowledge to go along with it. So the way we design this is each and every day, you're going to get both classroom training and practical training at the same time. So as opening agents, the first thing you should be doing is watching that video that was assigned to you that day. Once you finish the video, take the test. Then I want you guys to discuss it, do a little bit of role playing, which we'll do here a little bit. And then I want you guys to take a break. And when you come back, to log in and start taking calls to get the practical knowledge and apply what you just learned watching the video and apply it to the calls that you'll be taking. Now, you guys have 2 weeks in which to get promoted. If after 2 weeks, you're not showing that you're getting it, we're just going to deactivate your ID. Because at that point, there's no point in continuing. We do not want opening agents. But they are a necessity to get you where you ultimately want to go, which is to become closers. Now, if you can't get it after 2 weeks, you're never going to get it. And if you can't be successful as an opening agent, there's absolutely no way you're going to be successful as a closing agent. All right, because the first 1/3 of the closing script is actually what you're doing as an opening agent. So it's impossible to be successful if you cannot master the opening side of things. Now, we have a very in-depth reporting system, and I'll show that to you here in just a second. Now, as you can see, it's easier for me to do this on the spreadsheet. What I did was I copied the reporting system that you guys have access to into a spreadsheet to make it more efficient and to be able to demonstrate this. Now, you could all see my screen, I suppose. If you can't, let me know that. Now, you're being graded on every component of the opening campaign. Let me make this a little smaller so you guys can see this. Each component represents a certain percentage of your overall grade. All right. Now, if you have a score of 75 or better, and you have active login time of 20 hours or more, you're going to get promoted to closers in training. Now, if you demonstrate that you're just absolutely killing it, we won't wait till the end of the week. We'll promote you as fast as possible. In other words, we're not promoting you because we like you or we don't like you. We're not promoting you because of your good looks or your ugliness. We're promoting you basically on what it is you're doing, and it's not arbitrary. So with these reports, it takes all the guesswork out of the equation. If I was to ask an agent how they did, they're going to give me their impression of how they did. Okay, whether it's right or wrong is not going to matter. They're just going to give me their impression. Whereas with these reports, it shows exactly what you as an agent are doing right, what you're doing wrong, and exactly where you need help to improve and get past the learning curve. Because the goal is not to get as many transfers as you possibly can. The goal is to get you promoted to closers in training and then ultimately to closers. What you earn in the meantime is really bonus money if you think about it. Because remember, I could have just as easily put you in a classroom for 2 weeks where you were not making any revenue, you weren't making any money, you were stuck in a classroom. So any money that you make, just consider it as bonus money on the opening side, because the real money is going to come on the closing side. You actually double the money that you make for doing the same amount of work, taking the same calls, etc. So, for instance, I'll take this agent, for example, 57. I'm sorry, take this agent, for example. She has a good score, 78. That's awesome. However, I can tell right off the bat that she has a problem with calls going over 90 seconds. Without looking at anything else, this is the first thing you look at. It tells you exactly where to find the problem. Where the problem is her calls, or she has problems with those calls going over 90 seconds. This agent here has the same problem, and it's bad enough that the calls are going over 90 seconds, but it turns out that she's spending time needlessly with people that can't be helped, either because they are renters, they don't live in a single family residence, they have a low electric bill, or they already have solar. All right, so here's the problem, and then it's adding insult to injury. Well, as you can tell from the training, the script was designed to be completed in 60 seconds on a perfect pitch. Now, we all know there's no such thing as a perfect pitch. Someone is going to interrupt you with a question, comment, concern, or just want to have them voice their opinion, whatever. Your job is to control that conversation and limit the interaction between you and the customer. Now, as I've said, we all know that there's no such thing as a perfect pitch. So we give you an additional 30 seconds to complete it. Now, if a call is not being completed within that 90-second period, you guys are doing something wrong. And it can only be one of four possibilities. Either you're not following the script, your pacing is either too fast or too slow, in which case you're having to repeat yourselves, wasting valuable time and defeating the purpose. Or you're not pronouncing your words correctly and having to repeat your words, wasting valuable time. Or in most cases, it's because you're not controlling the conversation. You're letting the customer run wild. And that's not good. Again, there's no point in speaking to somebody and answering their questions if you don't know that they're worth speaking to. In other words, that they pre-qualify. Until they answer all three of your questions, there's no point in answering their questions. This isn't customer service, this is sales. And you must control the conversation. So if I look at this agent here to illustrate my point, I know that there's a problem with calls going over 90 seconds, and I know that she's spending too much time with people that she can't help. So if I scroll over, we could actually drill down and see exactly what's going on. I'm going too far. Just add these people here. All right. So this agent had 11 calls over 90 seconds. That's not good. Of the 11, 8 of them went over 2 minutes long. 3 of them went over 3 minutes long, and 4 of them went over 4 minutes long. Now, the opening script is only 16 sentences long. So I don't understand how any of these calls are going over 4 minutes or 5 minutes. What can you possibly say outside of the script? For 4 minutes long. Again, it was designed to be completed within 60 seconds. So of the 11 calls, she dispositioned 2 of them as answering machines. So in other words, what she's telling me by dispositioning the call, she's saying she dispositioned 2 of them as answering machines. Well, how do you speak to an answering machine for over 90 seconds? How's that possible? So she's being penalized for that because she didn't disposition the call correctly. This agent had a low electric bill that over 90 seconds. 4 of the calls were not interested. Okay. Here we have 2 calls right here that are not single family residents. How is that possible? It's only the second question we ask. Low electric bill. It's the third question we ask. So if we go back here, we can see exactly what it is you guys are doing right, what it is you're doing wrong, and where you need help. And it tells us where to look for the problem. Now, the reports can only tell you so much. So if you scroll down, you can see how the transfers were dispositioned. You have access to both sets of recordings. You can hear the recording between the opening agent, see what they've said, and then you could hear the closing recording, so you can see what happened before and what happened after, cause and effect. Now, if you scroll down, you can see all the calls that lasted 90 seconds or longer. So here we have a renter, 108 seconds, another renter, 105 seconds, do not call, 92 seconds, which blows my mind away because we're doing telemarketing. In other words, everybody hates telemarketers. So the first thing that someone's going to say to you is, put me on your do not call list. Don't ever call me again. They're not going to talk to you for 92 seconds and then decide, oh, you know what? Just put me on your do not call list. It doesn't work that way. All right. Here we have has solar, 98 seconds. How is that possible? You're pitching them solar. Don't you think they would want to tell you, hey, dude, thanks for calling me, but I already have solar? They're not going to wait 98 seconds. That's a minute and 38 seconds to tell you they have solar. Doesn't make it. So something's going on there. Probably not dispositioning the calls correctly. Here we have 91 seconds to find out not single family residents. 151 seconds to find out they're a renter. Well, either he dispositioned the call correctly, or he's not following the script or asking the questions the way they're written. They're supposed to be written. All right. $503, not interested, as an opening, or I'm sorry, it's closing and training. Never mind. 148 seconds, answering machine. How is that possible? So, as I've said, the reports can only say so much. So, what we want you to do is also incorporate listening to the recordings and analyzing those recordings. And the way to do that is you would copy this phone number and put it into the telephone recording report, and it'll spit out the recording. Listen to the recording, analyze it, use our call recording question template to guide you through it. And we'll go over this in detail. All right, so you guys also have, or the managers have access, and the owners have access to all the reports. You have a real-time report. You can see what your agents are doing. You can listen to the recordings live, and you can barge into the calls. That's great. You also have your CRM that tracks your sales. It's completely full disclosure, full transparency. What you guys see is the same thing that our clients see. So our clients know exactly what they're paying for, and you guys know exactly what you're being paid on. So there's no ambiguity. All right. It's pretty straightforward. You'll have access to your agent reports that we just went through. You'll have access to the agent recording report. As I said, you would plug in the number and hit search. It'll spit out the recording, and you just download the recording and listen to it. And then you'll have your transfer report. All right, so you can see what the agent's disposition of calls as, and here are the recordings on the opening side and the closing side. Now, as far as the training goes, your opening training, it's really simple. We want you to watch lesson 1. We want you to take the test, discuss it, do a little bit of role playing. Assuming everybody passes the test, take a break, log in, start taking calls, and apply what it is you were just taught. Pretty simple. If you don't pass the test, you won't be allowed to log in. All right? Day 2, same thing. Same pattern. Watch the video, take the test, discuss it, role play, log in. Day 3, day 4, same thing. After day 4, then we will start to do these daily meetings, whether we do them as a group or you do them internally yourselves. All right, if you need help and you want a private session, let me know. I'll make myself available and do that. All right, we're here to help you. So that's pretty much it as far as that goes.